Welcome back to the Maelstrom, ladies and gentlemen. We have another Warhammer 40k battle report for you today. We're doing 2,000 points. Josh is going to be taking command of my Tyranids, and he's going to be facing off against Hutch's Eldar. We're going to be playing a mission from World War 40k. The deployment type is search and destroy, so they will be in quarters. The Eldar will be in this quarter. The Tyranids will be opposite them in this quarter. This mission represents a full-blown escalating battle that neither side can find a way to retreat from, so it is going to use tactical objectives as they are trying to take absolute control of the battlefield. The kicker in this one, though, is the objectives can't be within 12 of the edge, but they can be any distance from each other, including touching, which you will see in just a moment. So we have objective 1 right here. In the center, we have 3, 4, and 5 all touching each other. The Tyranids have picked where they want to be. Then we have objective 2 over here among the crates. And beside the crate over here, we have the 6th and final objective. So that is the table. We will be right back with the armies. Alright, first up we have Hutch's Eldar. He's going to be playing Ulthway. We'll hand it over to him to walk you down his forces.
Alright, so I am playing 2 battalions today. It's being led by an Autarch. He was my warlord with Fate Reader. I have Eldrad with Guide, Doom, and Executioner. I also have a Farseer, a Spirit Seer there in the back left, and I have a Warlock Conclave with 2 Warlocks. In my troops, I have 2 squads of 20 Guardians. They have 2 heavy weapon platforms each with shuriken cannons. I have, also in the troop slots, I have 3 10-man Dire Avenger squads. They are all the X-Arch, well, all the X-Arch will be armed with the dual catapults. For my 6th troop, I have a 5-man Ranger squad. I have a 6-man Dark Reaper squad for heavy support. And then I have 3 Wave Servants as dedicated transports. They have the underslung shuriken cannons and dual bright lances.
Alright, so there is the Eldar half. We will have psychic powers and all that good shenanigans at the army lists on the blog. There will be a link below to that. We will be right back with the Tyranids. Alright, next up we have the forces of Hive Fleet Kraken. Josh has requested that I walk down the list since he is just kind of standing in behind it today. So we have 2 different detachments. We have a Spearhead and a Battalion. In the Battalion we have 2 HQs. We have a Broodlord and a Neurothrop standing there in the back center. They're going to be joined by 3 Venomthropes behind them and 2 broods of 4 Zoanthropes flanking to either side there. In the troops we have 30 Devil Gaunts, and then we have 2 squads of 20 Hormogaunts with adrenal glands, and we have 2 squads of 10 Barebones Gene Stealers. Then moving over to the Spearhead detachment, we have the Hive Tyrant, who's the Warlord. We have a Trigon Prime, and we have 2 individual Carnifexes. So those are the armies. We have seen the table. We will be back as we get stuck into the Maelstrom. Alright, deployment is complete. We'll start with the Eldar and let Hutch walk us down what he's got.
Alright, so we have the Reapers, a squad of Dire Avengers and the Warlock Conclave. Squad of Dire Avengers with Eldrad and the Autarch, a Farseer. Squad of Dire Avengers with the Spirit Seer. And then I've got the 5 Rangers up in the tower. And I've got the 2 20-man Guardian Blobs in reserve.
Alright, and then we'll hand it over to the Tyranids.
So we set up all of our small bugs along the front for a general advance, backed up by both of the Carnifexes on our extreme left. The Zoanthropes took the high ground since with fly it doesn't really make any difference to them. In the center of the horde, underneath the walkway in the middle, is the Broodlord and the Neurothrop. Behind them is the perennial first turn losers, the Venomthrope squad. I think they've survived a grand total of 1 first turn in a dozen games or more. And then we are deep striking the Hive Tyrant and the Trigon Prime with the Devil Gaunts.
Alright, so that is deployment. You guys got dice? Let's do this. So who's got the +1?
That would be me.
All right, so Hutch is going to get +1 over here on the Eldar side. And no C's in this mission, so +1, and whoever gets the high roll goes first. So we got a 4 from the Eldar. Can the Tyranids match it? With a 4, they match it, so we're going to try that again. All right, Eldar. Have a 4 once more. Consistency at least. And a 3 from the Tyranids. So it is going to go to the Eldar. We will be back after the opening engagement. All right, Eldar, turn 1. What you got, Hutch?
All right, so at the start of the game, I did cast the Phantasm to let me redeploy some units. So I pulled the Reapers back and pulled some of my transports back. Start of the turn, this Wave Serpent started here and moved over. This one was deployed there from the Phantasm. Second phase, managed to cast Guide and Fortune on the Reapers. They killed 5 gaunts. Yeah, 5 gaunts out of the Termagants with the Tempest Launcher. And then we managed to kill 1 Zoanthrope with the other guys shooting. I then fired the Bright Lances from here into the Carnifex that was here and managed to kill the Carnifex for first blood. The 5 Rangers fired down at the Neurothrope, managed to get 3 wounds. He failed 1 of his saves, but 2 of the 3 wounds were 6s, so I managed to get 2 mortal wounds on top of that. So he's down 3 wounds. And that was my first, all my objectives either on the other side of the board or have to do with charging the enemy. So don't see that happening.
Not a friendly initial draw there. Tyranid response coming up next. Tyranid 1 is in the books. Josh, walk us down what you got.
So we made a general advance into cover from some of the direct incoming fire. Seized a couple of objectives. We drew secure objective 3 in the center. Obviously the Gene Stealers swarmed over that. And secure objective 2 on my extreme right. We sent one of our Hormagaunt broods out to grab it. Then in the psychic phase, the 4-man squad of Zoanthrope stepped forward. Boom, and all 5 Rangers ceased to exist. I mean, that's what Zoes do. And then they cast Catalyst on the last remaining Carnifex. That's it for turn 1.
All right. Yep. They didn't like what happened to their little Neurothrope buddy there. They said, hey, enough's enough. We need him. All right. So that's it for the bugs on turn 1. 2-1 in favor of the Tyranids. Going into turn 2. All right, Eldar have finished a devastating turn of shooting into the Tyranids. Hutch, tell us about the massive casualties you caused.
Alright, so Reapers had no, I shifted my transports over this way. The one from here got up top. Was going to go further, but I thought might as well take some shots. He shot at the Zoanthropes, missed, needing the 5 to hit. That's going to happen. The Reapers, only the Exarch could shoot because they can't see anything. He killed 1 Gaunt. No, I'm sorry, he killed 2 Gene Stealers, sorry. The 1 Gaunt was killed by the underslung cannon on that Wave Serpent.
Yeah.
And then due to lack of targets, those 2 Wave Serpents fired at the Gaunts with their Bright Lances on objective 2, needing 5s to hit. Got 3 hits between the 2 of them and took the heads off 3 Gaunts.
Yep, showing off like Eldar want to do. All right, so that is the end of the Eldar turn. Unfortunately, no points scored yet. They're still discarding through that initial cruddy hand that they drew. Tyranid response coming up next. All right, Josh has us up to the shooting phase, or the assault phase. Tell us about it, Josh.
So we made another general advance into the ruins and the cover. We took a card to double move the Venom Thrope so that we would have cover.
Oh, yeah.
We took an opportunistic advance on the lead squad of Gene Stealers to try to cut those freaking Reapers out before they actually do some damage to stuff that I care about. Psychic phase went off. Through the psychic phase and the shooting phase, we managed to knock this Wave Serpent on the top of the bunker here down to 5 wounds. We cast the Horror on the Wave Serpent on the baseline. We cast Catalyst on the Hive Tyrant, who took a drubbing a little bit from the Dark Reapers when the for forewarning
Yes.
when he came in from Deep Strike. And then he cast Dominion on the back squad of Hormagaunts so that they could sit on an objective that we drew a card for.
Oh, all right, so we're going into the assault phase here, and we will be back. All right, combat is history. Josh, tell us what happened.
So we lost one Gene Stealer to Overwatch. The squad charged in, and first round of combat left one guy and the Exarch with 1 wound. And we played an Adrenaline Surge. Second round of combat wiped the squad, and we used our 3-inch consolidation to catch the Farseer before he does his blinky head thing and runs from me.
Now, all of that said, the Eldar did put up a pretty stiff fight. The 2 survivors did kill 2 Gene Stealers in close combat, so mucho kudos there. I think they killed more Gene Stealers in close combat than they did shooting. But that is the end of Tyranids, right? Mm-hmm. All right, going back over to the Eldar. All right, Eldar are finished through the shooting phase. I don't believe we're going to have an assault phase, are we?
No, not this turn.
All right, what you got, sir? Tell us how it went.
All right, so I jumped everything out right here, and I brought both of my Guardian squads in. You know, being turn 3, you know, they didn't come in this turn. It was over anyway. So, second phase, I threw I threw the +1 to hit for the Black Guardian stratagem here. I threw Guide on that squad. I doomed the Gene Stealers. Mm-hmm. Between the 2 Wave Serpents and the Guardians there, I managed to kill the Broodlord and a few Gene Stealers, not nearly as much as I would have liked, but it is what it is. This Guardian squad over here, I really need to get rid of the 2d6 off of this squad from having 4 models. I knew I didn't have enough firepower to completely wipe any squad, so I focused half my firepower here, managed to kill the 1, which knocked their power down, and managed to do 1 wound to this squad. Now what I was really hoping for over here was I played the stratagem to allow rerolls 1 to wound off of a Farseer, so all 30 Dire Avengers at this point had reroll 1s to hit from the Altark and reroll 1s to wound. We threw it all into the Hive Tyrant and took out 4 wins.
Yeah, that Hive Tyrant just did not want to take any damage that turn. Adaptive Camouflage is a beast.
And so I did use Smite and Executioner to good effect to get rid of the Gene Stealers that were in my back line so I can focus all my firepower this direction. But my firepower was not good enough to really make that big of a dent in the army.
All right, so that is it for the Eldar. We will be back going into the Tyranids. All right, Tyranids are up to the assault phase. Josh, tell us what happened.
Psychic phase, we didn't get anything off. He managed to stop every psychic power that we cast with his deny rolls. Shooting phase, the Hive Tyrant and the Carnifex kind of flopped. I think they dropped like 3, maybe 4 Dire Avengers with their 24 shots. Not very impressive from those 2 individuals. But the Devil Gaunts came in. Devil Gaunts do work. They did what they always do. They punched the squad on the pipeline and left 5 survivors, and then we burned 2 command points, and they punched the squad in the crater and knocked down 6 Guardians and both support weapons.
Yep, so pretty gruesome little shooting phase on this end at least. Assault phase is coming up because I'm sure these bugs didn't come out here to shake hands. We will be back once they are finished. Alright, bug assault phase. Griff, what you got?
So we used the Hormagaunts to suck the Overwatch off of the untouched yellow fanned Dire Avenger squad. I think you got 6 on Overwatch, which is pretty impressive, but the remaining 7 coupled with the remaining Gene Stealers from the last swarm cut all but 2 members down. They then failed their morale check. We used our combat consolidation to lock up the other 2 squads, so no more shooting back at us for the coming turn.
Alright, and then over here from the morale, we lost 7 more here, right?
Yep.
Did roll a 6 on that. Yuck. Lost 7 more to morale. And the 5 down here are vacating the premises at the moment. They stepped through their webway portal, decided the elevator was occupied, and are going back home. So, that is it for the Tyranids. Eldar, coming up next. Alright, Eldar, turn finished up to the assault phase.
Alright, so, move my vehicles around. Second phase. Started out with a Warlock Conclave to try and smite the one Gaunt. Rode Snake Eyes and took 3 mortal wounds. So I've got 1 Warlock left with 1 wound. Attempted to cast Smite here. Failed. I got some Smites and Executions off down here. No, I'm sorry, I did not. Shadow of the Warp kept denying me on all those. All told, I got all but 2 of the Gene Stealers killed using Smite. Did some shooting with the Wave Serpents. Didn't really do anything shooting there. They kept missing the Hive Tyrant because of the adaptive camouflage and the Venom Thropes and so on. The Guardians down there managed to kill 1 Zoanthrope. So hooray, they're still showing they're still here. I then popped Serpent Shields on all 3 Wave Serpents, and I managed to kill the Hive Tyrant with it. And the last 2 Gene Stealers. That's all I managed to do with the 3 Serpent Shields. So we're getting ready to go into the assault phase.
Alright, so took those 3 wounds from him, but he fought to hold on to him as long as he could. That is it. Up to the assault phase. Eldar are going to finish that up, and then we'll be back. Alright, Eldar have finished up their assault phase.
Alright, so I had a objective to get D3 victory points if I had at least 3 units successfully charged. So that's what I did this turn. Threw the Wave Serpent into the Zoanthropes. Tried to charge the Guardians in just to try and... Hey, there's no Overwatch, might as well do what I can. They failed, they had to have a 12 anyway. But the Wave Serpent succeeded. My Spirit Seer managed to make it around onto that lone Gaunt, and so did my Altarch. In the fight phase, the Spirit Seer knocked the Gaunt on the head with his big stick. And then that was the ending of the Wave Serpent and Zoanthropes just kind of stared at each other.
Nope. Alright, Tyranid turn coming up next. Alright, Tyranids are up to the assault phase. What you got, Josh?
So we moved the Devil Gaunts up, and we ran with the Trigon Prime to try to get him back in the fight. The Devil Gaunts split their fire and knocked down 6 of the 7 remaining Guardians, and then proceeded to knock 5 points out of the Wave Serpent with the remaining shots for the squad. That squad is just unbelievably powerful. That is a ton of shots to come out of such a small, diminutive little bug. Down here on the psychic side of the table, we had some crazy shenanigans. The first squad, as always, managed to get 1 wound on the Autarch, and then he made his 6-up feel no pain and ignored it. And then the Neurothrope decided he'd give it a shot. He threw the Horror on the Green Dire Avenger squad to screw with their ability to shoot and to mess with their leadership. And then he cast Smite and rolled 2 6s. And I burned my last command point to try not to blow his head off, and he rolled another 6. He was determined. So he blew up, knocked 2 wounds out of Zoanthrope, knocked 3 wounds out of the Spirit Seer, knocked 2 wounds out of the Autarch, knocked 3 wounds out of the Wave Serpent, and knocked a wound out of the Carnifex. Spectacular explosion, and probably the best time for it to happen because there wasn't really anything left to protect him, and he wasn't really doing anything for the rest of the army, so we'll take the damage where we can get it at this point.
Oh yeah. Alright, so that's it up to the assault phase. I assume you're going to try to launch some assaults here?
Oh, absolutely. Alright,
we will be back after the Tyranids complete their assault phase. Alright, Tyranids are done with their assault phase in 4.
So, Venomthropes are actually pretty good in combat, apparently. They brought the Wave Serpent down to 1 wound, single-handedly. Everybody else that hit the Wave Serpent kind of dinged on the pain a little bit and bounced off. The Carnifex charged the Spirit Seer and crushed him with his living battering ram rule. And then the Autarch heroically intervened, managed to knock 1 wound out in the ensuing combat. But Carnifex is still there for 1 more phase at least. The 3 Zoanthropes jumped the Spirit Seer and they kind of played gong show. So not a lot happening there, but we are in position to continue the punishment on each other in the coming turn.
And the last Guardian down here decided enough was enough. 39 deaths were far enough. He's going home. Alright, did you roll Toxic Miasma for them against the Wave Serpent? We did not do that yet. So we're going to dice for that real quick. 2 will not do it. All right, that is the end of Tyranids going into the top of 5. See what the Eldar have cooking. All right, Eldar have finished up their turn. Hutch, let us know what happened, sir.
All right, so this wave serpent fell back, so that way I could shoot at these guys here. Started off the psychic phase. The Warlock Conclave that had 1 maul with 1 wound decided to perils, trying to smite the 3-man Zoanthrope here.
Then tell us what happened, Hutch.
Well, the mortal wounds against the Zoanthropes that I was trying to smite, rolled a 1, managed to kill the one that was on 1 wound. That's all the damage to him I did. I killed 3 Dire Avengers out of the green squad. I killed the last 2 Dire Avengers out of the red squad. And I took all 3 of the last wounds out of my altar heart and gained my opponent's Slay the Warlord.
Oh, and then don't forget one of the green guys ran away because of the damage you did.
So,
oh my gosh.
So, shooting, I managed to kill the Carnifex that was on 1 wound. Fired all my Bright Lances and Shroom Cannons into this guy, who had Doom, and this wave had Guide, and he's still on 4 wounds after 6 Bright Lances and 3 Shroom Cannons. So they did nothing, essentially. So then, because the game was predatory, I went ahead and charged Eldar the Farseer into these Zoanthropes for no damage to him, and then I got headbutted by Zoanthrope, and Eldar took a wound.
Yeah, I think your Farseer was more of a near seer this game. I don't think he saw any of this.
So, end of the turn. This combat down here, I got 1 wound through to the Zoanthropes. I took no damage in return, but I still had to take morale from my own perils that took out 3 of my own guys, which, okay, not been bad. Oh no, wait, no, because I had to horrify. I actually lost 2 guys, not 1, 2. My own morale because they were under 4 or 5. So leadership 7 minus the 4 so I had to have 3 less, and I rolled a 5. So I lost 2 Dire Avengers on my turn due to morale because my Warlock blew his head off.
Oh, I can't blame them for running, man. They're getting killed by Tyranids. They're getting killed by Eldar. They've had enough.
Oh, and the objectives that I drew for this turn were these over here.
Yeah, right here in the middle of the swarm.
No, but I did draw one that if I claimed this objective. So I will get 1 point for the Wave Serpent controlling this objective, but at this point I'm calling it because I'm down almost 3-1 on objectives.
Yeah, so that's going to be a Tyranid victory. We will have after action reviews and army lists at the blog as always. Give us a like on Facebook. That's the best time to see, our best place to see our new content as soon as it comes out. And make sure you give us a subscription on YouTube if you like what you see. That metric means everything to us. We appreciate those of you who have already done so.
Feel free to buy me a new brick of dice.
Yes, he needs them. As always, guys, thanks for spending time with us today at the Maelstrom.